Hi, I'm Michelle, John's wife.
Today I'll be talking about volunteerism and a persuasive topic. Are you wondering about what's involved in volunteerism? Maybe there's a specific cause that you feel passionate about but can't afford to donate money. You can still make a difference by volunteering your time. Volunteering is one of the most unselfish things you can do. You will not only feel good about yourself, but will make others feel good in return. Unlike a job, when you are seeking volunteerism opportunities, you will be able to pick what interests you and how you would like to spend your time. According to the Fair Labor Standards Act, a volunteer is an individual who performs hours of service for a public agency or organization for civic, charitable, or humanitarian reasons without promise, expectation, or receipt of compensation for services rendered. Beyond these legal definitions of volunteers, it should be acknowledged that there are, in fact, many variations of the meaning of the term volunteer. For example, Webster's Dictionary simply defines a volunteer as one who enters into or offers oneself for a service of his or her free will. In this sense, the volunteer is basically distinguished as one who is not coerced to perform services. Further, while normally voluntarily services are performed for which the individual neither expects nor receives compensation, it does not, in many cases, preclude the payment of expenses, such as per diem, travel, allowances, stipends, childcare, for educational purposes. Volunteerism is recognized, generally speaking, to be an effective way to interject public participation into nonprofit or governmental operations and decision-making processes. It is believed that volunteers can see and understand firsthand through the various volunteer experiences that the public interests and needs are indeed being seriously and competently pursued and, where possible, successfully met. In many cases suggest that volunteers improve citizenship and serve as an effective conduit to educate individuals outside philanthropic and governmental circles as to the merits of public service. Studies indicate the United States is the most advanced country in philanthropy in two important aspects: the percentage of income of gross domestic product allotted to charities and the average number of hours devoted to volunteerism. Various reasons account for this phenomenon. Helping those in need with neighborhoods, parishes, and home districts is rooted in the American way of life. Religion and diversity contribute likewise to a heightened enduring sense and devotion to the ideal and practice of volunteerism. Americans willing desire to give their time freely to addressing the problems of crime and drugs, illiteracy, and homelessness. The causes associated with volunteerism, or why people volunteer, are of interest, especially for organizations offering volunteer programs. Indeed, what are the factors or causes associated with volunteerism? Some research has been given to answer these questions, and the results are informative. Bowes and Associates, 1998, a consulting firm for nonprofits, compiled some data on the causes of volunteerism. Most significantly, perhaps, it was found that 67%, or two-thirds of adults, believe that it is very important for people to volunteer within their communities. People volunteer because of the needs of the community, such as those needs which may be described as educational and those associated with charitable activities. 70% think that volunteering makes people feel good about themselves, and that this is a cause or justification in itself for voluntary participation. Once an organization has a solid core of volunteers, it is important to have those volunteers feel appreciated. There are many things to do to recognize generous people whose interest in volunteerism leads them to give freely for their time and talents. There are many different ways to say thank you to your volunteers, from holding a luncheon to giving out gifts. No matter what you do, the fact that you acknowledge the generosity is sure appreciated by your team of volunteers.